So I just witnessed what might be AEW's biggest disappointment of 2025. After setting the bar impossibly high with their recent pay-per-views, Forbidden Door 2025 from London's O2 Arena crashed harder than a botched table spot. But here's the twist. Buried in these 7 matches of mediocrity was one of the best main events I've seen all year. If you clicked on this video because you heard Forbidden Door was a letdown, you're absolutely right. Your $50 in 3 hours were likely wasted on everything except for the final 30 minutes. I'm going to break down exactly why this show doesn't deserve your money, which matches to skip entirely, and why that main event is worth watching alone. Let me start with this train wreck that opened this show. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage against the Matriarchy should have been a safe crowd-pleasing opener. Instead, I watched a structural nightmare unfold. This layout made zero sense. Killswitch and Kip Sabian had this bizarre internal conflict where Sabian got busted open asking his own partner what was he doing, and I honestly had no idea what was going on. Then for reasons I still can't comprehend, Killswitch put Sabian in a electric chair position only for Copeland to hit a doomsday device. The booking felt like 3 different people wrote 3 different matches and nobody even talked to each other. This wasn't just bad, it was insulting to everyone involved. This gets 1 3/4 stars. But wait, because immediately after that disaster, Kyle Fletcher and Hiromu Takahashi gave us something to sink into. This TNT title match was pure fire from bell to bell. Takashi's spike driver on the apron I thought was pretty dope. But the sequence that was the real highlight was Takahashi's wild face plant followed by a sunset bomb to the floor. I literally said, holy fuck, and I know I wasn't alone. Fletcher's sheer drop brainbuster finish, however, felt sudden. But that's my only complaint about a match that deserved about 5 more minutes to become truly great. I gave this one 3 3/4 stars. Unfortunately, the good feelings died instantly with Mercedes Moné TBS Championship defense against Alex Winsler, Persephone, and Bozilla. Now, I've seen some bad 4-way matches before, but this was horrendous. Bozilla's overhead belly-to-belly on Persephone looked like it could have ended someone's career. And Mercedes poison Rana and Bozilla taking it just looked dangerous. Now, you could see what they were trying to accomplish, which was showcase 4 different styles, create some big spots, and to build to a dramatic finish. But the execution of this was so fundamentally flawed that it became unwatchable. I gave this one 1 3/4 stars. Now here's where things get interesting again. Zack Sabre Jr. defending the IWGP World title against Nigel Guinness was everything the previous match wasn't, which was precise, logical, and emotionally invested. Having British legends like Johnny Satan and Marty Jones sit in front row did add to this. Every submission hold mattered, every reversal built towards something bigger, and when Sabre Jr. retained with that picture-perfect bridge pin reversal, it made perfect sense. This is what happens when 2 masters understand the craft and respect their audience. I gave this one 3 3/4 stars. The 3-way tag team title match perfectly showed this show's biggest problem. Great individual moments destroyed by terrible execution. Bandito's moonsault off the top rope to the floor while holding Dax Harwood I thought was wild. Brody King's suicide dive got the biggest pop of the match. But then Cash Wheeler chair shot at Brody in the head. Look, even with a gimmick chair, that's so unnecessary in 2025. And the masked men revealed as Ricochet and Gates of Agony, it pretty much felt like an afterthought. And the referee work at the end was bad. Brodito winning the title should have felt like triumph, but instead it felt hollow. This gives 2 3/4 stars, more so for flashes of brilliance buried in booking nonsense. Kazuchika Okada versus Swerve Strickland had everything needed to be great. Instead, we got a match that felt like it ended just as it was just getting started. Swerve's hook back slam on the apron I thought was vicious. Okada's tombstone on the floor gave some drama. But that sudden finish with the Rainmaker, it just felt too sudden. Like they were told to go home early. This gets 3.5 stars for what could have been so much more. And the post-match angle with Wardlow joining the Don Callis family was whatever. Just need to wait and see what that. Toni Storm versus Athena suffered the same problem plaguing this entire show. Not enough time to develop their story properly. Athena's O-face spot with Storm hanging from the apron I thought was genuinely creative. And Mina Shirakawa making the save and chasing off Billy Starks got the crowd invested. But when Storm countered into that chicken wing submission for the victory, it felt abrupt rather than being climactic. This gets 3.5 stars. For good work, but it deserved better presentation. Adam Page defending against MJF should have been the emotional climax of this show. Instead, it became a lesson in how overbooked stipulations can destroy a great match. The stipulation stated that the title could change hands on disqualification or countout. Then we watched referee Bryce Remsburg ignore multiple situations that should have been disqualifications. The exposed turnbuckle usage, the table spots, MJF even putting his hands on him. Now the wrestling itself was great. Both men bled. Both men told compelling stories. Both men had the crowd in the palm of their hands. But when MJF hit the heat seeker, only for Page's foot to be on the rope, leading to a restart, leading to more nonsense, leading to Page finally winning with a buckshot lariat, it all felt convoluted instead of a triumph. This gets 3 3/4 stars for what would have been a great wrestling match, ruined by terrible booking decisions. But then the real fun finally happened. Darby Allin, the Golden Lovers, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Will Ospreay against Jon Moxley's Death Riders and Gabe Kidd and the Young Bucks was absolutely excellent from start to finish. Moxley handcuffing himself to Darby, then gouging Darby's bloody ear with a fork while he was duct taped to the chair. That's the kind of psychological brutality that makes you lean forward in your seat. Claudio Castagnoli press slamming Darby into the cage was just insane. The Golden Lovers hitting those synchronized Snapdragon suplexes, followed by the Golden Trigger, was just brilliant stuff. But the moment that defined this match was Will Ospreay's moonsault off the top of the cage, followed by that one-winged angel and hidden blade combo with Kenny Omega that had the entire O2 Arena on their feet. When Hiroshi Tanahashi finally connected the high fly flow for the victory, it was a perfect ending to an incredible match. This gets 4 3/4 stars for a match that reminded you that AEW has the high standards. Here's the brutal truth about AEW's Forbidden Door 2025. This show represents everything wrong with modern pay-per-view booking. You had 7 matches of wasted potential, building to just one moment of absolute greatness. AEW has set their bar so impossibly high that a 7.75 out of 10 show feels like a catastrophic failure. When you're competing with your own standards, mediocrity becomes unacceptable. Should you watch this show? Skip the first 7 entirely. Find highlight packages of Fletcher versus Takahashi and Sabre versus McGuinness. But that main event steel cage match, that's essential viewing for any wrestling fan. The biggest tragedy is that this show wasn't bad. Is that it could have been great with better time management and smarter booking decisions. What did you think of Forbidden Door 2025? Did that main event save the show for you, or was the damage already done? If you enjoyed this review, go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe, and share this video out with your friends. And for that, I'll see y'all later.